ध्यायामो धवलावगुण्ठनवतीं तेजोमयीं नैष्ठिकीं स्निग्धापाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखीं वात्सल्या अमृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनीं श्यामां गीं मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरीम्। ॐ अमृतेश्वर्यै नमः। ॐ अमृतेश्वर्यै नमः। ॐ अमृतेश्वर्यै नमः। My humble salutations at Ammas Lotus feet. My namaskarams, love and greetings to Ammas children from across the world. First of all, let me offer my prayers for the peace and healing of everyone in this world living in fear and anxiety due to COVID-19. Let us also pray for the blessings of Mother Earth, nature, the entire creation, and all the natural forces. Let us pray to Amma, the Supreme Guru, for her infinite grace and compassion. My namaskarams, my salute and salutations to everyone. I'm going to chant a Shanti mantra from the Vedas. I will chant the Sanskrit verse first, followed by the meaning. At this time, please close your eyes and pray to the divine, to Amma, for protection, safety, and for peace. Om Dyauh Shandirandariksham Shandihi Prithvi Shandirabha Shandiroshadhaya Shandi Vanaspatayah Shandir Vishwodevaha Shandi Brahma Shandi Sarvam Shandihi Shandireva Shandihi Sama Shandiredhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning of this Shanti mantra, the peace mantra, is may peace radiate there in the whole sky as well as everywhere in the vast ethereal space. May peace reign all over this earth, in water and in all herbs, trees, and creepers. May peace flow over the whole universe. May peace be in the Supreme Being, Brahman. And may there always exist in all beings peace, peace, and peace alone. Peace to us and all beings. To begin, I want you to engage in a small task. If you're there with your family, each of you, please turn towards the person sitting next to you. Now, with your own palms joined as though in a prayer, say Om Namah Shivaya to each other. Now, to each other, you say, I greatly value your presence, your love, and your support in my life. Say this to each other. I greatly value your presence, your love, and your support in my life. And now say Namaste or Namaskaram to each other. Okay, good. Humanity is going through a very tough time. It's an extremely scary situation, mainly because we don't see an end to it. We have no idea how it will play out. There is unpredictability about the whole situation. Logic, medicine, and our efforts are important. Equally important is faith. Equally important is love. Equally important is compassion. Allow me to share a relevant story from the great epic Srimad Mahabharata, which I think is suitable to the current context. One of the greatest warriors of that time, Dronacharya, the guru of the entire Pandava and Kaurava brothers, who taught them archery, was killed in the war. Out of rage, his son Ashwathama sent out an immensely lethal weapon by the name Narayanastra to the Pandava army. It was almost like dropping an atom bomb or using a biological weapon. The weapon disseminated massive destruction among the Pandava army, especially those who were armed and seemed to fight against. At this point, Lord Krishna instructed the entire Pandava army to put down all weapons and lay flat in full prostration with palms joined. He told everyone not even to bring the idea of war in their minds. The moment the entire army did as commanded by Krishna, the Narayana Astra, the lethal weapon, began to calm down. The designated time of the weapon slowly ended. Thus, Krishna saved the Pandava army from total destruction. The story is relevant at this time. People all over the world, when people all over the world are gripped by fear. Battling does not necessarily succeed in all situations. In this context, the present context, the wrath comes from nature, the mightiest and the most powerful, which unfortunately is on the other side. We humans are just small insects in front of Mother Nature. How do we calm her down? Leave everything behind. Work, shopping, partying, protesting, pleasure seeking, and stay still. Remain within your house. Remain focused in your heart as well. Just surrender. Fold your hands. Silently bow down. Gradually, the pandemic will complete its circle and calm down. Then, our focus shifts from COVID to Govind. To COVID, from COVID to Govind, God. Govind is another name of Krishna, of God. So from COVID to Govind. Astrologers, soothsayers, and clairvoyants make various predictions, mostly conflicting, which increase our blood pressure levels. Some say it will gradually start settling down after May 5th or May 4th, while others say it will last until September, October, maybe November. However, all these people, all those who predict, all those who make these predictions are only limited human beings. They can't see what's happening behind the curtains, what the universe's decisions are. An enlightened soul, such as someone who can see the past, present, and future, only says their only instruction, Amma's only instruction is stay where you are. Do not go out of your houses. Take necessary precautions. Obey the rules. Stick to the instructions given by the government and health workers unfailingly and pray for divine grace, self-effort, and grace. Our forefathers, especially grandmothers, used to say, Marunum Mandravum. This is a Malayalam proverb. Marunna means medicine. And Marunna medicine stands for self-effort. And Mandram stands for divine grace. Unquote. All these instructions, Amma's instructions, can be put in 5 words. Live in the present moment. Remember Amma's words. There are only 2 situations in life. Problems or situations that can be resolved, and problems or situations that cannot be resolved. No one worries about a situation that can be solved. And there is no point worrying about a situation that cannot be resolved. Now, the ancient seers, Amma says, go ahead and worry about everything else other than these 2. In her message the other day, Amma also said, Dhairyam, courage. Courage is the antivirus to overcome such situation. So, befriend Dhairya Lakshmi, Amma said, the goddess of courage. Befriend the goddess of courage. Normally we think courage is masculine, but no, it's feminine. Because real courage has to have compassion as its counterpart. Real courage has to have compassion as its counterpart. Otherwise, courage will soon turn into cruelty if it is not balanced with compassion. Therefore, when Amma says courage, it also means compassion. So when Amma says courage is the antivirus, it means increase one's own level of fearlessness. Fearlessness, awareness, and also be compassionate. However, being courageous and compassionate should not be limited to oneself, but that attitude should encompass others as well. Think of the world and be compassionate to others also. It's not enough to protect oneself. It is equally important to consider the safety of others as well. Courage or dhairyam cannot stand by itself without the strong support of karunya, compassion. So what Amma says, the message, the sum and substance of the message is we are moving away from our inherent divine qualities. Not only men, but women also. We have always been thinking that whatever nature provides us out of her benevolence was free. No, nothing is free. Everything has a cost. If we are taking fire, air, and water from nature, we must pay back. But we have not been doing our dharma. Not only we were looting nature, but we were also exploiting her, tormenting her, torturing her. God will not punish us. God will not punish anyone. But God's forces will. Natural forces will. They are God's children. Let me share a beautiful example of Amma with you. A mother of 5 grown-up boys was alone in the house. At that time, some thugs broke into the house and beat her up. Wanting to avoid further problems, the mother refrains from disclosing the incident to her children when they return home. However, the boys came to know about it through someone else. Now, what would the 5 boys who loved their mother more than anything else do? They will find the thugs and beat all of them black and blue, even if the mother begs them not to retaliate. Right? That's what we humans have been doing. We have been harming, torturing Mother Nature for a very long time. And now the natural forces are her children. Now they are coming out to get us. They are coming to get us. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12 says, Ishtan bhogan nivo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha taidattana pradhayaibhyo yo bhunde sthena eva saha. Meaning, cherished by yajna, sacrifice. In simple terms, giving. The devas, the forces, the natural forces, shall bestow on you the enjoyments you desire. A thief, verily, is he who enjoys what is given by them, the natural forces, without returning them anything. A thief. Sthena eva saha. Sthena means thief. So Krishna calls the entire humanity thieves, though a little bit indirectly. The gods, otherwise known as forces of nature, namely air, fire, water, space, earth, etc., are manifestations of the Supreme. They will be pleased and bestow the pleasures of life upon us, but only when you do selfless action. Only when we do. Let me include myself also. Only when we do selfless action. Only when we give back to society. But what are we doing? Stealing. Stealing without giving back anything. Almas says life is cyclic. The entire nature is cyclic. The seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter are circular in nature. They come and go. The entire solar system, the sun, earth, the moon, the stars, also travel on circular paths. Night and day are cyclic. So time must also be cyclic. Time must be cyclic. It's not a straight line. It comes back. Amma says the interest rates in God's bank are way too high, perhaps unlimited. Unlimited. The interest rates in God's bank. This is applicable to both the good and bad, not just good, for the bad as well. The interest rate is unlimited. There is a famous story about Lord Krishna and his childhood companion and his dearest friend Sudama, otherwise known as Kuchela. He was also Krishna's classmate from the Gurukula days during the time they spent together in the Guru's hermitage. And once their studies were over, Krishna and Sudama parted and continued their respective dharmas in the world. Sudama became a grihastha, householder. However, he always had Krishna's sacred name on his lips and his divine form ever enshrined in his heart. Even though the family consisting of his wife and children faced utter poverty, Sudama, a selfless devotee, did not pray for any material pleasures or possessions to the Lord until one day when things turned from bad to worse. At that point, Sudama's wife requested her husband to pay a visit to Dwaraka, the abode of Lord Krishna, his old Gurukula companion, who was immensely fond of him. Initially, Sudama was reluctant to approach the Lord for seeking material benefit. He said to his wife, "Lady, I chose the path of devotion for self-upliftment, not for wealth, not for pleasures." However, eventually, his longing to meet the Lord of the universe gave way to his wife's wish. The barefooted Sudama walked all the way to Dwaraka, Krishna's abode. The moment Krishna heard the news about Sudama's arrival at the gate of Dwaraka, the Lord ran towards him, leaving everything else. He called out, Sudama, Sudama, you have come at last. Krishna screamed in joy, running to the gates. Did you forget me, Sudama? Why did it take so long for you to come to visit me? Have you forgotten your old friend? Normally, it is the devotee who runs to the Lord. But we never see how the Lord runs towards us. Krishna embraced Sudama. The Lord, who always had a beaming smile on his face, even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, shed tears of joy when he saw his beloved friend Sudama. The Lord will never forget his devotee. Amma will never forget us. As Amma always says, my children, you're all in my heart. And a true devotee will never forget the Lord. This shows just how happy the Lord is to receive us when we go to him, to her. The Lord's joy is contrary to how we think his reaction will be. So Krishna took Sudama into his private chamber, seated him on his bed, and ordered his queens to bring a water bowl and other items. There, he washed Sudama's feet. Now, visualize this in your heart. The Lord of the universe washing the feet of his devotee. Normally, the devotees do Pada Seva or Pada Puja to the Lord, but here, the Lord washes the devotee's feet. I am reminded of Amma's words. Amma has no desires. She doesn't feel pleased about those who perform Pada Puja, those who worship her feet, and displeased about those who don't. In fact, Amma is willing to do Pada Puja. Amma is willing to wash the feet of those who selflessly serve the poor and needy. It gives more joy to Amma when seeing her children cleaning the drainage. That indeed is greater than doing Pada Puja. And we know how Amma showers flowers on everyone and how she bows down, prostrates in front of everyone before a program. We also see how even Amma kisses the feet of a dead body. In Amritanandamayi, it happens quite often when somebody dies. And before the corpse, the dead body is taken to the cremation ground, Amma kisses the feet of the dead body. And she kisses the feet of every child. Referring to the devotees, reporters ask Amma, do these people worship you? And Amma's answer is no, I worship them. So let us continue Krishna and Sudama's story. So while holding Sudama's feet in his own hands, the Lord noticed thorns that had pricked his feet. There were blood stains on his feet. As Krishna removed the thorns and cleaned Sudama's feet, the Lord began to cry. The pain of the devotee is the pain of the Lord. And such is the Lord's love for his devotees. Such is the purity of his eternal relationship with us. And this is why Amma says, the sorrow of my children is my sorrow, and their happiness is my happiness. I'm like a mirror. We also see Amma crying along with the devotees when they are sad or while they go through certain tragic experiences. She also laughs with us when we are happy. Amma also plays with the children and even grown-ups. Amma's participation in all situations is 100%. Her whole heart, her whole being is there. Great beings are one with the entire creation, so they feel our deep emotions. So now coming back to the story of Krishna and Sudama, After washing Sudama's feet, Krishna offered him new clothes to wear, royal clothes to wear, fed him, spent time with him, reminiscing about the old days in the Gurukula, in the Guru's hermitage. In short, the Lord, along with his queens, served Sudama like servants who serve their master. And this is the greatness of the Lord. Krishna was curious to know whether Sudama brought anything for him. Sudama was embarrassed to disclose the special gift, that is the 4 handfuls of puffed rice that he had brought for Krishna. He tried to hide it, but nothing remains hidden from the Lord of the universe. So Krishna took it out of his hand and opened it. Puffed rice, my favorite, exclaimed Krishna. He ate 1 handful when Rukmini, his holy consort, held his hand and said, "O Vishwambhar," Vishwambhar means foster of the world, "for the prosperity of the entire world, this 1 handful is sufficient." After spending a few days in Dwaraka, Krishna's abode, Sudama returns to his hometown, and just before leaving, Krishna tells Sudama to remove the royal clothes and wear his old torn clothes instead. Everyone, including the queens, were shocked to hear this. It is said that after Sudama left, Krishna locked himself inside his room and started crying. The queens asked him why he was crying, to which Krishna responded, "If Sudama went wearing the royal clothes, people would have had said, 'Look at him. He got so much because the Lord is his friend.' But now, when people see him in the same old tattered clothes, they will realize that all the prosperity he received was only because of his devotion." And this is the amount of care the Lord has for his devotee. Sudama did not ask for anything. In fact, he forgot everything once he was in the Lord's presence. However, the Lord blessed Sudama with all his needs, riches, prosperity, a palace-like house, servants, etc. Now the story has another side to it. What was the reason behind Sudama's poverty? Was God punishing Sudama for some mistake he committed in the past? Now here is the flashback. Sri Krishna, his elder brother Balarama, and Sudama were students together in the Guru's hermitage. And one day they were sent out to forest to collect firewood. The Guru's wife gave a certain quantity of puff rice for the 3 of them to share. And Sudama did not tell Krishna that he had the puff rice with him. Krishna was hungry. But still Sudama did not disclose anything about the food. In his tiredness, Krishna fell asleep in Sudama's lap. In the meantime, Sudama took out the food and began to eat. Then Krishna suddenly asked him, "Brother, are you eating something?" Sudama replied, "No, there's nothing to eat. I'm shivering with cold and my teeth are chattering. I can't even repeat distinctly the Vishnu Sahasranama, the 1,000 names of God, because of the cold." Krishna said, "Okay, I had a dream. I saw a man eating the food of other people. When asked about it, he said, 'Do you think I can eat dust and air?' Meaning he had nothing to eat. So the other man said, 'Okay, let it be so. I understand.' The omniscient Krishna then told Sudama, 'Fine, that was only a dream. I know that you won't eat anything without sharing with me.' If Sudama had known a bit of the omniscience of the Lord, he would not have acted as he did. It was none of Krishna's fault, but Sudama's own doing that came back later in his life as poverty. However, when Sudama later offered Krishna a handful of parched rice, puffed rice, earned by his wife with her own labor, Krishna was pleased and gave him a golden city to enjoy. Now the circle is complete. Sudama's puffed rice gift may seem to be too small, but the reward he received for this seemingly insignificant act was immense. That small packet of puffed rice sacrificed for the Lord was returned to Sudama and multiplied as tremendous amount of worth. Why? As Almas says, because the rate of interest of the bank of God is infinite, because the wealth is infinite. God's wealth is infinite. Therefore, the interest rate is infinite. The capital and the interest put together shoots up to unlimited amounts. Now, let us think, introspect, reflect, meditate, and search for the answer for the question: have I been selflessly giving even a small bit back to society? Even one handful of puffed rice? This story should be remembered by those who have the habit of eating things alone without including others. The scriptures also emphasize this lesson and asks us to offer things first to God, to the natural forces, and then enjoy them after they are renounced by Him. And then everything becomes prasad, leftover, God's leftover. Everything, all our actions, good and bad, will come back to us 1,000-fold. That's the law, the cyclic law of the universe, which no constitution can amend. Have you heard the story of Billy Ray Harris, a 45-year-old beggar who lived on a street corner in Kansas City? The incident happened on February 26, 2013. I'm not going to share the story with you because we have shortage of time. Do a Google search. Type Billy Ray Harris. It will come up. It's a modern day example for how our selfless actions will immensely be rewarded. From every corner, the message we get is: take part in God's Leela. Because this world is the magic show of the greatest magician, God. Magic is not real, but magician is real. And from which comes Maya? The word Maya, illusion, the magic of God. Take part in God's Leela. Play your role the way God has designed it for you, but remain unattached. This indeed is the fundamental principle of Karma Yoga. When we perform our actions selflessly, without claims, as an instrument in the hands of God, we automatically align ourselves with the law of the universe, with God's will. On the contrary, when our actions are prompted by ego and selfish desires, we, in fact, disassociate ourselves with God's plan, which will result in a painful experience. Who is responsible? We. We will have to pay the price because everything comes with a price. Nothing is free in this universe. That is the strict and uncompromising law. Even the ignorant are not excused in this process. Once a person driving on a motorbike came across a red signal and slowed down. Then he saw a buffalo walking confidently without considering the signal. This must have happened in India, because such scenes are rare. It only happens in India, the land of diversity and beauty and spirituality. So this man was riding on a motorbike, and it was a red signal, and he slowed down. Then he saw a buffalo walking confidently without considering the signal. Seeing this, he also started, and immediately the traffic policeman stopped and fined him. He asked the policeman, "You did not find the buffalo. Why me?" The policeman replied, "Because you are a bigger buffalo." The buffalo does not have the intelligence to understand the law, but we human beings do. If we are driving, it is not the government's duty to educate us about the laws of the state. It is our duty to learn the state laws. Similarly, if we are living in this world, taking air, water, sunlight, and food from nature, we need to follow the rules laid down by Mother Nature. So this is not to say that God is a strict disciplinarian, a dictator who weighs people's good and bad behaviors, make judgments, and impose punishments. No. God doesn't punish anyone. God only watches all the happenings. He's only a watcher, observer, seer, not a doer. God just sees, oversees. He is the CEO, chief, enlightened overseer of the entire universe. Which means God is the law itself. God is the law itself. God is Dharma itself. The Sarva Sakshi, one who witnesses everything. If you are chanting the 1,000 names of goddess Lalita, the Lalita Sahasranama, the mantra 232, Om Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Namaha. Om Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Namaha. She who will be the witness to the great dance to be performed by the great Lord at the end of the world. What is this? This nature, this world, the manifested world is the dance. Dance of Lord Shiva, creation, movement. But the dancer is one with the world. So where is God? Here is God, because the dancer is God. Dancer and the dance are not two, they are one. Om Vishwas Akshinyai Namaha, 384. She who is the witness for the universe. Om Mahapralaya Sakshinyai Namaha, 571. She who is the witness of the great deluge. Om Jagrat Swapna Sushuttinam Sakshi Bhukti Namo Namaha. This is the 59th mantra of the 100 names of Goddess Lalita, one who witnesses all three periods of time, which is waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. In today's world, so God is not the doer. He is not judging us. He is not punishing us. He is an observer, watcher. In today's world, many of us lead a life disconnected from the world around us, from our fellow human beings, even from our own close family members. We don't want to be bothered by their problems. We coil within our small world, enjoying the comfort and feeling unconcerned about others. In fact, this is not the way to face the world. This is not. Amma shows us how to live life. Amma shows us how to face life. Amma shows us how to interact with people. Amma shows us how to love, how to be compassionate, how to be patient, how to share, how to care. So this is not the way to face the world, because any fool can do that the way that we are doing. But we can't remain like that when things turn upside down in our life. This moment, the current state of the world, then we realize that all the so-called problems we had in life were just a storm in a teacup. Is that not our realization now? Some good karma performed in the past will allow us to have good times in life. But a tsunami can take place in the life of even the mightiest. Just in the wink of an eye, even the most powerful ruler of a country or a country can become nothing. A king can become a beggar, and vice versa. And when death stares at them, both the king and the beggar are the same. Their wants are the same. What do they ask for? Whether you be a king or a beggar or a poor man, irrespective of nationality, caste, creed, language, position, power, what do you ask for? Give me a little drop of water. At that point of time, there is absolutely no difference between the king and the beggar, the rich and the poor, the Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, and Jew. At that moment, you only see one thing: Kala, time, in the fiercest form, as the destroyer of everything. Kala, Kali, Kali, Kalam, Kali. It's all the same, time. The third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 14 says, Annat bhavandi bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajñat bhavadi parjanyo yajña karma samudbhava. All living beings subsist on food, and food is produced by rain. Rain comes from the performance of sacrifice, and sacrifice is produced by the performance of prescribed duties. And what is this sacrifice? It is not making a fire pit and offering ghee and other ingredients into it. It's not only offering money, fruits, and garlands to God. It is a selfless service we offer to the entire creation. And if we don't participate in this circle of giving, in the circle of love, in that circle of compassion, in the circle of sharing and caring, time will catch up with us. Because it is a circle. It's not a straight line. Recently, just before Amma's 66th birthday, a reporter from one of the mainstream Malayalam dailies interviewed her. The reporter asked Amma, you give darshan 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you travel all over the world and embrace people of all backgrounds. And even after this hectic darshan program, once you are back in your room, it seems that you read all the letters of devotees and ashram residents and give instructions on various humanitarian and institutional activities. You sleep very little. It's quite apparent that you spend most of your time with people in the public, surrounded by big crowds. And in the midst of all this, don't you feel like taking some time off to relax, to have some time and space for yourself? Amma's answer to the question was so spontaneous. She said, "There is no such time as my time and my children's time. It is all my time. There is no such thing as my time and my children's time. It is all my time." I was there, and her words struck me like a thunderbolt. I was stupefied. I could feel the profundity of her words as I gazed at Amma. Krishna's words to Arjuna flashed through my mind. In the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals his universal form to Arjuna. The Lord tells the great archer who was overcome with grief and refused to fight, perform his duty. Kalosmi loga kshaykrit pravardho logan samahartumiga pravartaha Ridevi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve eva sthitaha pratyanikeshu yodhaha. Means, Arjuna, I am time. I am time, the seasoned annihilator of the worlds, engaged in destroying everything, including these people, even without your effort, even if you don't fight. All those hostile warriors will not exist in the future. And when Krishna says this, it is not the individual Krishna, it is not just the form. It is not Krishna who was born in Dwaraka and brought up in Vrindavan. The Krishna who plays on the divine flute, the cowherd Krishna, the beautiful Krishna with a peacock feather tucked on his hair, on his hair. No, it is the universe. It is the universe speaking. Every grass speaks. Every stone speaks. Every dust particle sends out a message. Every leaf, every animal, everything will have a tongue. The message of the universe. Time. This may seem like a strong, perhaps an unkind statement, doesn't it? I am time, the seasoned annihilator of the worlds, engaged in destroying everything, including these people, even without your effort. All those hostile warriors will not exist in the future. This may seem like a strong, perhaps an unkind statement. I know that. And I can understand that. But truth always sounds a little too harsh for us to accept and understand. That's why we commit all kinds of stupidities, thinking that nothing will happen. However, when we take a deeper look into these words, we realize that it is just a normal, factual declaration, the open pronouncement of a law that constantly operates on the entire creation, on every single creature, including every one of us. Just the truth, a reality. Perhaps in a moment, Arjuna had a glimpse of the past, present, and future occurring in that universal form of the Lord. Probably he had seen the war taking place, the ferocious battle, the betrayals, casualties, the end, survivals, etc. Birth, the beginning, life, events, experiences, death, the end, all happen in time. And there is one special word in this sloka, pravardha, which means seasoned, mature. It means, oh Arjuna, I am a seasoned and very well versed in creation, sustenance, and destruction. I means the universe. It also indicates that this process of birth, death, middle, and death, the end, whether it be of the individual or the universe, is not a one-time affair. It's a cycle. Cyclic. Keeps happening. And that's how the karma theory operates. It becomes functional, unavoidable, inevitable. And it's happening. In our ignorance and our attachment, we think, what will happen if I stop working one day? Here Krishna gives a great lesson of humility and not to give undue importance to one's own actions. Basically, the Lord tells Arjuna, you think you are the doer. But no, a big no. I run the show. The reins are in the hands of the Supreme Being. Do we have any control on the present situation? Nothing. We cannot even go out of our house. So this is not a license to think. I mean, when the Lord says you are not the doer, I do everything. So don't think this is a license to think, okie since the Lord is doing everything, let me just stop working, let God do everything on my behalf. No. When Krishna tells Arjuna, I am time and I have decided to devour them, because anyway, time is going to snatch everything at some point. It's an act of nature. It's God's own way of balancing the world and its activities. What we continue our stupid actions, who can save us? Only we can. God's grace, Almas guidance is always with us. I have heard about the 3 stupid stages of life. 3 stupid stages of life. Teenage, have time plus energy, but no money. Working age, have money plus energy, but no time. Old age, have time and money, but no energy. Let me share a short story with you. A traveler was going to visit a pilgrim center situated on top of a steep mountain. The only way to reach the spot was in a rope basket. The traveler got into the basket, and just as he was about to be taken up the steep cliff wall, he noticed that the rope lifting the basket was tattered and was on the verge of breaking. He asked the monk, how often do you replace the rope? And the monk said, every time it breaks. None of us want to wait for the rope to break so that we can replace it, do we? Hence, Amma says, always be prepared. Because our entire life is a constant preparation. Be alert and vigilant like a soldier in the battle line. Let us always remain prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, and intellectually while praying to Amma. So let us all pray. O Amma, may your graceful glance help me to welcome all situations of life cheerfully, courageously, and compassionately. May your graceful glance help me to welcome all situations of life cheerfully, courageously, and compassionately. May your graceful glance help me discharge my duties as a loving and selfless seva rather than a chore. May your graceful glance help me not to dwell in the past and the future, but to be in the present moment. May your graceful glance help me to create the much needed change within me rather than focusing on changing others. May your graceful glance help me to always remain content and happy in all circumstances of life. Amma is with us. Her grace is with us. Be courageous. Be loving. Be compassionate. Pray. This is the best time to experience love. This is the best time to open up, to share. Because here in this moment, we realize we are nothing. Just as Amma's song, nothing is our own. No one is our own. Fear. When fear reaches its peak, and if you really contemplate on that, if you really meditate on that fear, you will see love. Love springs forth. You have to feel it as deep as you can. Because when you feel fear as deep as you can, you realize that you're helpless. We realize that nothing can help us, nothing can protect us, nothing can save us but God alone. And at that moment, in that moment, love, the wellspring of love, springs forth, opens up. So this is the best time to work on you, on your weaknesses, on your limitations, and prepare for the future. But to prepare for the future, be here now in this moment. Don't think about the future. So may Amma's grace be always with all of you, and we pray for you, we remember you, we think of you, and we love you, Amma's children, all over the world. Om Sadguru Sri Mata Amritanandamayi. जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री माता अमृतानंदमयी देवी की जय, माता रानी की जय, माता रानी की जय, माता रानी की जय।